Hello and welcome, everyone. This is Kaylin's English podcast. This podcast is designed for English learners. I'm here to help you practice your listening skills. I'm Kaylin, a professional English teacher on italki. Today's topic is finding comforts of home in another country. More specifically, as I am from America, I'm talking about finding things and places that make me feel like I'm home in other countries. Here's some background. I'm from America, as I've just said, but I currently live in the United Kingdom. I have been in England since 2012, and have traveled to other places as well since then. Despite having my husband with me, I still occasionally get homesick. Homesick means being sad because you're away from home and miss your family and friends. When being abroad, you sometimes want things to remind you of where you come from, mostly food items. I know what you might be thinking. You're in England. It can't be that much different from America. Well, there are many differences besides not having my family here. Let's talk about one difference. The food in England can be different than America, especially when it comes to price. If I want to buy something so simple like an American brand cereal, such as Lucky Charms, it typically costs around £7, which is more than double the standard price of typical cereals in England, such as Cheerios or Shreddies. Cheerios is famous in America, but it is also here in England, but I have only found the standard flavor of it here, so no Honey Nut Cheerios. Also, more expensive are American candies. You can get a Baby Ruth bar for £2, where a British candy bar like Cadbury sells for £1. Despite these American treats being so expensive, I still sometimes buy them just to make myself feel less homesick. I have learned a trick, though, to look for sales on these items. Another way to try to feel at home, my husband and I tried to recreate various meals that we grew up with. We have been successful in making various iconic foods from America, such as barbecued meats, salads, macaroni and cheese, American-style pancakes, and various side dishes. I said American-style pancakes as the British pancakes are not as fluffy, and they do not typically use buttermilk to make theirs. We have made Thanksgiving feasts practically every year since moving here, even though the holiday is not celebrated here. When we make this feast, we traditionally make turkey, mashed potatoes, stuffing, green bean casserole, gravy, and of course, pumpkin pie. For the 4th of July, also known as American Independence Day, we have done a traditional barbecue at a friend's house. We made pulled pork, ribs, potato salad, baked beans, and cornbread. One of our Italian friends made us a pecan pie. It was an absolutely delicious meal. We celebrate the holiday with one Italian and 2 British people, and everyone wore something USA related. Rather, it was the colors red, white, and blue, or an American sports team jersey. This made us feel much more at home, even though it wasn't with our actual family, and neither of the other nationalities normally celebrate the holiday. A great way to cure homesickness is to find places that remind you of home. In London, there is a restaurant that is authentically American. It is styled after Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. It is called Passyunk Avenue. They sell Philadelphia cheesesteaks, which are steak sandwiches, with cheese and other toppings of your choice, such as onions, mushrooms, chili peppers, and bacon. They also sell other famous sandwiches from America, such as an Italian hoagie, meatball sandwich, and Italian sausage sandwich. They have side dishes and appetizers like tater tots that you can get cheese whiz on, macaroni and cheese, shoestring fries, mozzarella sticks, and buffalo wings. They also sell American beverages like root beer and cream soda, which are sodas or pops, and they sell American beers like Budweiser and Sam Adams. What is also unique about this place is that the owner is American, and many of the staff members are Americans. It truly makes me feel at home, even though I am not from Philadelphia. Another way to feel less homesick is to watch American movies, television shows, and American YouTuber content. We regularly watch American sitcoms practically every day. This helps us feel a bit at home as we hear the accent and hear some familiar references or terms. We always watch the same movie at Christmas time that we would watch if we were at home in Ohio, too. It does not feel like Christmas if we do not watch this particular movie, and it does help with the homesickness. Being able to see American holidays being celebrated in movies or in television shows makes us feel a bit better. There's plenty of evidence in many countries that people are trying to feel less homesick by incorporating things from their home country into their new home country. For example, when we were in Japan, we were able to find an area in Tokyo that had American-themed restaurants and bars. In New York and London, there are areas that are named Chinatown, as there are many restaurants and shops that are Chinese, which are typically owned and run by Chinese immigrants. Near my old home in London, we had several Middle Eastern restaurants and also some Greek places as well. We have a couple of Japanese restaurants in our current city that are owned and operated by Japanese people. These sell as traditional authentic food as possible. If you go to a grocery store, there typically is an area dedicated to world foods where you will find American, Indian, Asian, Greek, and Italian food items. Not always are they truly authentic items, but for the most part, you can find something that is or is close to being authentic. These are great areas to shop in as you can find some unique ingredients to cook with. My husband enjoys cooking a variety of foods from all over the world, so I shop in these aisles quite often. Making this episode has made me a little bit less homesick. Do you still live in the country you were born in? If you don't, have you found things to make you feel less homesick? When you travel, do you find things to do or things to eat to give you the comfort of home? To recap, here are some of the vocabulary from this episode. Homesick, background, occasionally, expensive, absolutely, authentically, traditional, shoestring fries, famous, and sitcoms. I hope you enjoyed practicing your listening skills with this episode and have gained new ways to express what you do to feel less homesick. That is all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed. If you'd like more content, then please subscribe to this podcast. You can also support me on Patreon. Find me by typing in Kaylin Teacher. On Patreon, you can gain early access to the podcast and transcriptions. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Kaylin_teacher. Thank you for listening. I hope you all have a great day. Until next time, bye!